AITA for leading a woman on by being nice to her kid? I am not the original poster. That is you, Utkarshari. He posted in our AITAH. Mood spoiler. Weird overall, but happy ending. Less than. Original post. September 18, 2023. This happened a few days ago and has completely blown up in my face. I am 32. Was out with friends and it was one of those situations where people showed up with their friends. And it was a blend of different friend groups. It was a courtyard cafe, so our tables were close by and we were all occupying a good chunk of the place. I don't make new friends easily, so I was just focusing on my coffee and talking to my friend Katya, F35, when her friend Marit, F30, joined our table with her colleague. She is a cute woman with smart looks and a brilliant smile. We started talking and it was your usual, what's your favorite kind of topic. We were discussing cartoons, movies and books. Apparently, we are both dorks who hide our dorkiness really well. Then something unique happened. We recognized that we had an audience. Katya and Marit's colleagues were busy with themselves, but there was a kid, age unknown, sitting with us listening to our conversation, and we noticed him when he chimed in with his own favorite show, Steven's Universe. At first, we looked at each other and then the kid and then again at each other and laughed. It was so interesting that he had pushed his chair from the adjacent table to our table and decided to join our conversation. So we started talking to him and asked him about his life, friends and school. Typical stuff. I saw his mother smile at us from the table, so she approved of all this. She was a friend of one of my friends and remained busy with her group. Over the next hour, we basically talked to each other, and the kid and Marit slid her chair a bit closer to me and we were subtly flirting with each other. When it was time to leave, we exchanged contacts and decided to meet again the next day to see where things go. We are both single and share many interests. The kid's mom, let's call her Brianna, age unknown, came over and we just exchanged some pleasant greetings. She described how great the kid was and we all agreed. We all went our separate ways. I did give Marit a hug before leaving. The next day I got a message from one of my friends saying how rude I was to Brianna and that if I was not interested in her, I should not have gotten her hopes up. I was surprised because Brianna and I did not talk for more than 15 minutes and I never showed any interest in her. I never flirted and I did not notice if she was flirting either. Not surprising because that is one of my blind spots. I replied that I did not know what this was about, but I definitely did no such thing. I had plans with Marit that evening, so I kind of forgot about this and hoped that it would resolve on its own. I went out with her and biked together to her home, common in the Netherlands. And by the time I reached my place, I noticed that I had strings of messages on my phone. Brianna had gotten my contact from my friend and was saying that I was an asshole for being a father figure to her son. She said that he had not stopped talking about how nice his evening was with me, and how is she supposed to tell him that I had no interest in being in his life. I was leading her on by showing her that I could offer what she was looking for, but then I was playing this game of showing disinterest to make her follow me around as a show for dominance. Apparently, all the podcasts have tuned men into assholes, and we don't see women as people with emotions anymore. I was literally sitting there with my hand on my forehead trying to make sense of it. Our mutual friend messaged me again and said that she expected better from me. She had found out from Katya that me and Marit had hit it off, and she accused me of being superficial and being a jerk to Brianna because she is a single mother and I should grow up and be more mature. I replied that I never led her on and they needed to clear this out because it sounded really crazy. TBH, I have never been interested in dating someone with a child and my friends know this. But I never said that to Brianna. So that was something our mutual friend either told her or was just saying to me personally. The next day it blew up even more, with half of our friend group calling me a jerk for stringing Brianna around. I messaged Katya and asked her WTF was going on, and she said that she was surprised too and assumed that something happened after we left, and was under the impression that I asked Brianna out and rejected her. I told her that I asked Marit out, not Brianna, and she found that more logical given how we were obviously flirting that day. I am seriously thinking I have crossed some boundary here by talking to that kid that day, and probably his mom is freaking out because of it. TLDR. The kid's mother accused me of leading her on because I talked and entertained her son for an hour. And now he is asking about me while I have no interest in dating his mother. Edit. Same post. I am getting some new information from my friend group. It seems like the mutual friend of Brianna and I is in cahoots with Brianna. I will do another update when I have all the information. Katya has been a huge help in clearing things up with my friends, since it is clear that they all were fed some completely different story by Brianna and the mutual friend. I will call her Ellen from now on. There is not a consensus bot on AITA, but replies were overwhelmingly NTA. Update post. September 21, 2023. 3 days from OG post. First, some people expressed that I should use fake names instead of letters, so I will do it now in this post. Editor's note: Oop went back and changed his OG post from letters to names. The woman I am going out with, Marit, the woman who introduced us, Katya, the woman who is crazy and expected to go out with me because I was nice to her kid Brianna. The only reason I used B was because she was acting like a B word. Our mutual friend Ellen. Another important background is that I am not Dutch. I am an expat, and so is Brianna and Ellen. Marit is Dutch, and so is our friend Katya. Some good Dutch people commented and were surprised how this could happen in the Netherlands, and they are right. Dutch people are one of the most straightforward people I have ever met. I asked Katya to find out exactly why people think that I lead Brianna on, because she was also under that impression. She contacted a few people and got the whole story, and it is crazy AF. The whole thing started a few months ago and was the brainchild of Ellen. I was coming out of a relationship and she wanted to hook me up with Brianna from the start. I, however, was not ready to jump in and was not very social for the first few months, so the chance never came. Brianna and I have shared talks before, but I was not paying attention and she never registered in my brain. Ellen had hyped me up to Brianna for quite some time, and that is where the whole issue started. She had her convinced that we are very compatible and share similar interests. She was convinced that if we could just have a chance, we would immediately click. I have no idea why she thinks that, because we are definitely not alike in any way. Not to mention, she knows that I don't want to date someone with the responsibility of a child. She just thought that I would rise up because I am so good with kids. This brings us to the day we were all out and I met Marit. Katya too had similar designs, but she did not oversell me and just bought her along for a nice evening. All this time Ellen and her group wanted to introduce Brianna to me, but the way I clicked with Marit, they knew they missed the bus. They sent her kid to our table in hopes of derailing our conversation, because we cannot flirt if there is a kid sitting with us. It was another matter that ended up helping us even more, because his presence removed any first-time nervousness and we went from verbal flirting to non-verbal. When Brianna came later, she hoped to use the kid as an icebreaker, and we had a chat about how cute kids can be and similar stuff. But I never asked for her number and she left with Ellen not so happy. My hug to Marit pretty much pissed them off. I do not know if it was Ellen's idea or Brianna's, but they decided that if they could malign me in the group and assassinate my character, they might end up drawing a gap between me and Marit. So they made up a story that I asked Brianna out and showed her down for being a single mother and how she has nothing good to offer anymore because women lose their value to men when they are a single mother. This is why they mentioned the podcasts and stuff. Since Marit also has friends in my group, she would find out, be disgusted by me and dump me. How do we know? One of the people sitting at their table dumped all their beans on Katya. What they did not expect was that I would be quick to ask Marit out and meet her the very next day. So when the whole thing blew up, she messaged me the day after we had a date and already knew something made no sense. Katya and I explained everything to her and she was very supportive and joked that she has to work so hard to get this misogyny out of me. We created a group chat and showed our friends some pics from our time together the next day and the whole thing was cleared up. Brianna and Ellen are outcasts now, and apart from professional relations, some people will need to keep with them. They will no longer be invited to our usual hangouts. Everyone is scratching their head at what their endgame was. The consensus is that they expected to isolate me and then be my only support system and redemption. Anyway, the only petty thing Katya did at the end was send my pic kissing Marit on her cheek to Ellen as an FU before blocking her. Unless there is a new drama from the two, which I doubt there will be. This is probably the end of all the craziness. Relevant comment. Someone expressed that being nice doesn't seem to be worth it anymore. Because people can be crazy or take it the wrong way. I would like to see it differently. Being nice brought me closer to a brilliant woman and we have a great story to tell if things go right. Editor's note. A reminder to not comment on OOP's original posts, as that is considered brigading. Also, remember that this sub has a 7-day waiting period before posting. If you have seen this post before, it was not on this sub as this was posted exactly 7 days after OOP's update. Well, that was weird. Honestly, don't know what to say really, but what a dumpster fire. Some of these people really just make me scratch my head. Are people really this naive and deranged? I can't believe it. I feel bad for OP having to deal with this nonsense. But I also do feel bad for the kid cause he was a pawn in this whole thing. Poor kid is getting mixed up with a group of deranged people. Who are these people who think asking someone out so you can immediately reject them is a thing? You just don't ask them out. It's not like Brianna asked Oop out and then he said, no. You stupid single mother. Ellen and Brianna were trying to tell people Oop was like, wow Brianna, I would love to go out with you sometime. Except not. Because you're a stupid single mother. Quote. Brianna had gotten my contact from my friend and was saying that I was an asshole for being a father figure to her son. I'm genuinely struggling to believe that any real woman would send a message like this over a single conversation in a public place. Because single moms are so popular already, we should definitely try to make them look even worse. Way to go, Brianna. Also, I giggled fully at the dumped all their beans on Katya. I love when an idiom doesn't translate properly. What a pair of deranged idiots. Their master plan was to manipulate him into a relationship by slandering him, isolating him from the friends, and waiting to pick up the pieces of his decimated and lonely existence? That sounds like a freaking delightful start to a new relationship. This is a plot reminiscent of The Parent Trap. Did the kid concoct this insanity? Because it's otherwise inexplicable coming from two grown women. It makes me believe that Brianna had a child in an attempt to baby trap someone and this is just her mo. Thank goodness it got cleared up. It took me a minute to translate, dumped all the beans on Katya. But I had a wholesome chuckle when I realized a friend spilled the beans to Katya's smiling face with tear glad at all. Worked out purple heart. By Brianna's logic, if Op is a father figure, then Marit is now the boy's mother. I'm starting to think the world is majority populated by crazy people. These women are deranged. Poor Op. I mean, you don't be nice for other people, you be nice for you. How desperate can this Brianna person be to use her son as her wingman to land a boyfriend? How low can people go? Eesh. Poor kid. I'm confused about how the cyberbullying and insults were supposed to result in Oop hooking up with the single mom. Breaking him and the other girl up wasn't going to magically drive him into the single mom's arms. And the single mom taking an active role in it just ensured that there will never be a possibility of them getting together. A smarter plan would have been for the friends, flying monkeys, to find a way to assassinate the other girl's character, and then tell Oop that the mom had felt like they had a connection at the dinner. One of the people dumped all their beans on Katya. Love this. This is soap opera logic on the part of Brianna and Ellen. He's so awesome. I must ruin him so he can be mine. Quote. Wow. These people are in their 30s and indulging in some major junior high drama. I wish people would stop introducing their friends for the express purpose of romance. It's a little creepy if you think about it for a while. Just introduce your friends to each other and let them decide what kind of friendship they're interested in. Be Katya. Don't be Ellen. This is as bad as the woman who wanted to put her kind neighbor on the hook for child support because he did her a favor and watched the kid for a bit one time. She claimed he played a fatherly role and wanted to bilk him for the next 20 years for it. Sometimes it feels like everyone's a scammer. Jesus Christ, those two women are insane. It's scary how easily they can character assassinate you if they want. Luckily his friend had the recips and the nose of a hound dog. Lol. Nothing says I like you like ruining my character. Are Ellen and Brianna still mentally 15 years old, because that's how old they were behaving? 1/2 day of talking already constitutes being fatherly? Thinking face AITA should take note. A lot of YTAs should be overturned. Rolling on the floor laughing. I love all the high school behavior and pettiness in this thread. 10 out of 10 was highly amused.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Aracast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.